What is fulfilling day in and day out and not aspirational in the moment? So I'm kind of going the opposite of my brand, right? In the moment, what is your experience with your own job? Hi, everybody. We are concluding this first series of My Brand and My Job. I hope you found it at least a little bit interesting and relevant to what you are possibly experiencing. Esco and I are going to wrap this up where we kind of segmented out the two topics. We're going to kind of bring it back together and talk about some really fundamentals, some tips and tricks and ways to kind of view each of these things. And I know, Esco, when I'm working, kind of my brand is really something I'm in every day. And whether that is working with my own personal brand or the companies or the people that I work with every day, or, coaching somebody, it's so much about understanding who you are as a person and capitalizing on those wonderful qualities that really kind of transcend every aspect of your life. So, reflecting a little bit on who you are, who you've been, what has been your journey to get you to today, because a personal brand isn't built on what you're sitting on today, is the foundational pieces. And then what kind of person that you are known to be, and then what kind of legacy you want to leave behind. And that varies depending on how far along you are in your career, right? For a 25-year-old to talk about a legacy, I don't know. What are you thinking?
Um, you know, when I think of people's brands, and so I'm looking at other people's brands, I start to look at how they conduct themselves just in the at passing moments, right? And so of course, now this is my niche. This is my nerd. Is I love audio video. I love these Zoom type sessions, and so I try to make sure that my brand that I carry is representative of what I would like others to remember me by. So camera position, sound quality, those kinds of things reflect my brand when we hang up. And so, what is it that you want people to think about you or your brand in this case when you hang up the call, when you're not in front of them? Grab those two or three things, and make sure that those are something that you're comfortable with, to your point, as well as something that you can carry on. Because a brand shouldn't be a lift, because if it's a lift one time, then it's going to be a pain to keep up. So, that's kind of what I would say you would need if you're trying to build your brand on a daily basis.
Yeah, I love that. Sort of, is it serving or sabotaging you? Because you can't keep up a persona with any kind of authenticity. I love that. So jump into my job. And we talked about some really neat things on the last one, really owning your job and your career path. And I think that that's important. And I would say a couple of things to just really keep in mind when you're reflecting on your current job and where you want to take it is what parts of it do you find fulfilling? Like literally writing down a list of, and it's, two or three things, right? We don't have to make this too laborious, but what is fulfilling day in and day out and not aspirational in the moment? So I'm kind of going the opposite of my brand, right? In the moment, what is your experience with your own job? And how are you feeling about it? And then are you advancing? Do you feel like, because in a professional environment, we're successful when we feel like we're learning or we're getting better at something or more proficient or more efficient or whatever. And so really taking a hard look at, am I advancing or have I sort of plateaued? What are your
I'm gonna
thoughts?
I'm gonna spin off that, because I was just, as you were talking through that, I was thinking, what does my manager think of my output, of my daily output? Am I doing the things that they need me to do? And then B, are those things that I am doing that my manager needs me to do in line with the company's goals? So from a job perspective, I mean, yeah, and we talked about it earlier, you can tie your brand into how your day in, day out job works, but are you managing up? letting your boss know what you need to do, and then also doing what your boss wants you to do. So how does that dialogue work? And so when I think of my job, it's really how I'm measured by my managers and my team.
Yeah. I love that. I think it wraps it up in a nice bow, that's for sure.
So this series is the end of my brand and my job. Our next couple of series are actually going to be really, really interesting. We're talking about networking and mentoring in series two, or depending on where you caught us, it might be series one. I don't know. And then also, we're talking about LinkedIn and resume. The difference, they're the same. Are they different? We're going to go into that as well. So this concludes the series, My Brand, My Job. Stay tuned for networking and mentoring, and then LinkedIn and resume on the next couple of series. And finally, most importantly, give us some feedback. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear what we could double click into. Obviously, these are topics that are very near and dear to my heart and Lisa's heart. So if you want to know more, or if you want to visit with us, let us know in the comments below, and stay tuned for the next one. Bye, everybody.